30 things that some of you are doing wrong in CSGO. Do not camp in this upper corner close to a ramp Mirage because the arch here works against you and enemies can see your legs first. If they know this trick and crouch here, they could kill you without you even seeing them. Watch out. You are doing it wrong when you only open doors with hands. It means getting close and pressing the use key, as there are many different alternatives. You could simply shoot the door to have a hole in it and see through it at a distance, although this way you could never actually open them without the annoying door sound. The complete maximum is just a big hole in the door. If you want to be sneaky and get rid of the door opening sound, you can destroy the door with a nade or with a Molotov when door is already broken enough. Plus also with a Zeus when again door is broken enough. So why not to open doors with alternative ways to win your next James Bond-like clutch. Also, you're doing it wrong when you're not buying and selling your skins on today's sponsor Skin Baron site, as prices are obviously lower than on the Steam market. The site is trusted plus safe and holds more than 700,000 skins on it. Yep, it's even more than Cristiano Ronaldo has cars. You don't even need to bother yourself with making a new user, just log in with your Steam and already on the first page find some utterly amazing skin deals. I'll leave the link in the video description. Please don't get scammed and go trade your CSGO skins at a safe place. Don't you try to go for this smoke plus Molotov combo on Inferno top middle. I have wasted my own Molotovs multiple times here because most of the times your molly to boiler won't work at all, as it lands very close to the smoke and the wall is just not a proper wall here. CSGO at its finest. You can see through Mirage a default box and you're playing it wrong when you're not using it in your clutches. It's completely free info for you. Mirage again, if B apps is smoked like that, it's easy to get stuck when you want to go out the window, or you just lose speed while doing that, or ruin the B rush for your whole team. But if you would jump off from the edge of the carpet here and then turn left in the air using your almighty muscle memory, it's very easy to get it every single time. Doesn't matter how many smokes are down, as long as you can see the carpet edge. If all the apps is smoked, you're in trouble though. Next up, Dust 2. When you want to drop a bomb to your teammate on A site, but you'd need to cross first, then don't cross while watching CT, because if someone kills you midway, the bomb drops into the direction you are facing at, and in that case goes rather deep towards CT, which makes it very hard to then get the bomb again. So always face the bomb site in that case, then even if you die, teammate will most likely still get the bomb, plus is able to plant it. That's the most iconic place for this tip, but it applies everywhere. Bomb will always drop in the direction you're looking at, so make sure to think about that when you push onto a bomb site and you are the bomb carrier. If I were you, I wouldn't sneak clear corners with AWP because AWP makes you extra slow, plus its barrel sticks out way too much and therefore opponents have a great advantage against you. I would use a pistol in this case because even when you don't move, AWP's barrel can stick out quite badly. Watch out. You are playing it wrong when you are solo holding the bomb site from a very open, flash-prone position. Of course, you can switch it up a little every now and then, but if enemies know how to flash plus entry, then open positions are kinda useless. They obviously work when opponents don't have any utility, or you are dodging the flashes, or they just fail the flashes. But for early rounds, try to think about your positioning and have something in front of you to cover you from those annoying flashbangs. If you stay at Mirage Sandwich, aim close or even a bit inside the box, then you're also hidden from Palace. If you don't do that, then your AK gun barrel should nicely be visible from Palace. We tested it out with different common rifles, and AUG plus M4 are actually pretty safe if you face the bomb site, because I guess the weapons aren't that long and player model holds them closer, but since AK acts differently plus sticks out more, you need to be careful when aiming towards the site, because people from Palace could see you and even frag you without you seeing them at all. There are positions in the game where turning your head would make your hitbox completely hidden, but if you don't do it properly, AK straight down, you will be very easy kill for opposing side. A great example is this barrel / toxic position on overpass B bomb site. If you're not completely facing down and do it with like 45 degrees angle, people could still see the tip of your head and therefore easily kill you. If you would do it correctly, it's possible to see you, but rather impossible to hit you from the same ground level. Also, we found out that when you're holding a knife in your hands, your model stays even lower than with a pistol, making you even more hidden. Another note that when you have a big rifle with you and you're not holding it in your hands, it's gonna stick out on your back. So moral of the story, if you want to hide like that, please know the details and face straight down to avoid the awkwardness. Keep in mind that if enemy is holding deep A ramp like that, and if you would like to peek them at a distance, you are doing it wrong, as they can see your shadow miles away. So although it's usually smart to keep the distance, here rather peek them close to the wall to not to give them an advantage, as this out in the sun route reveals your shadow before you. It's the good old Pamela Anderson effect, where her boobs arrived in the room moments before herself. So the full shadow route is surely a better option here. Also, as a ramp defender, keep your crosshair rather lower, because if they use the sun route, you're gonna see the shadow plus have some time to readjust your crosshair. Useful stuff. There are more spots like that, the most iconic being Longhouse at Dust 2. When you're entering the Longhouse and you know someone is close, either try to go in extra fast or with a flashbang, because your shadow goes in miles before you, and again you're already in a huge disadvantage. The next one goes especially to beginners. It's one of the most common movement mistakes people tend to do. They hold too much W. That's pretty much CSGO essentials. You want to catch your opponent when they are moving, so they would need to stop before they can start shooting accurately, and you would want to be nicely counter-strafing when peeking out to the opponent. Try to only use A and D when dueling. It also means that you should peek corners with A/D only, because behind that corner there might be a potential gunfight waiting for you. If you'd go out with holding your W as well, you're way easier target for your enemy to hit. Be better than that and try to avoid W as much as you possibly can, especially when peeking out from corners. Next up, do not wide swing when you're not completely sure that you are taking a 1v1 duel. For example, when going out middle on cache, clear potential angles one by one. Firstly white box and then connector. Don't go all in like that and therefore be exposed to all angles at once. That's not smart. Mirage, as a CTA player, please always Molotov ramp first. Don't smoke it first, as they could flash push through the smoke with potentially 0 damage. Molotov starts doing instant damage, and they would need to use a smoke if they want to be extra quick, which gives you a sound cue that they most likely gonna fast rush out ramp, so Molotov helps you quicker to understand what they're up to, plus damage / slow them down better. In most cases, smoke here is not that effective early round, because you simply can't get close enough to ramp by the time they can be out Tetris. Watching pro demos is cool, but don't try to mimic everything you see there, especially oppers holding very little angles. John, you're a Gold Nova 2, and most likely you ain't even gonna pull a trigger when enemy crosses this gap, so be realistic with your reactions, plus give yourself a fair chance to get this kill. Don't throw utility in sneaky situations if you have no idea if anyone can be extra close, because whatever you throw, you would make a sound, and it's a nice warning alert for your opponent that you are incoming. Go learn great supportive nades, especially flashes that are safe enough to execute with randoms, so the chances of helping them are good and blinding them non-existing. You don't want to end up in a scenario where you would throw a decent flash for current situation, but it just needs a bit more communication and a nice dodge from them, so when they most likely miss it and end up fully blind, you might ruin the team's vibe, plus everyone gets mad. Instead, try to come up with something yourself or watch my videos to find great safe flashline alternatives that aren't that dangerous for your team, as they land behind them but still support them to go out. Sometimes good can be wrong, as timing matters a lot. NadeKing 2021. Molotovs and smokes are not walls. Many people throw them and act like they had put a wall at a certain spot, casually chilling with their knife out. That's wrongity wrong, plus can result in a small disaster. Also, that's why sometimes it's a very good counterplay to YOLO push through the Molotovs or smokes and catch people off guard. CSGO's history has seen some phenomenal YOLO plays even on a pro level. Using the same counter logic, no one should push mollies and smokes, but that's what makes the surprise even bigger when it actually happens. Overpass Playground has this small gap angle, and you're wrong if you think you are safe when pushing T entrance using this route. Please don't camp at second oranges on Inferno B side, as enemies can see you first and even shoot you through the box. The real quickest way to get on the silo on nuke is via run boost, and if you do little pauses to line it up, the result is fairly consistent. If you think you're quicker solo, then most likely you're wrong. Alright, do not jump when it's not needed, you just risk with losing some HP. One of the best examples is this nuke from silo to mini gap. You can just run off from silo without any strafes and fall onto mini. Jumping just makes it a bit riskier, as you could lose extra HP when you miss the proper landing. If you're a nuke ramp player, smoke/nade/molotov early round is a must to keep enemies away from the OP ramp rush. Don't run on the right side of T-abs on train, especially when you go for a contact B play, easy early info and potentially a kill for peeking CT side upper. Slicing the walls can be heard from far away, so if you want to be sneaky and don't want to give up your position, try to overcome this bad habit. I know you're the second simple, but it's still not good to solo buy when your whole team goes for an eco round and leaves more than 2k CSGO dollars in their bank. If you're not 100% sure where the enemies are, always run with a pistol and not a knife in your hands, as 10 units faster speed isn't worth the risk when enemy might be behind every next corner you pass. With a pistol, you can at least immediately fight back. Next up, don't throw your nades too deep. For example, here on Inferno, lots of people throw nades that land very close to that wall. It's just potential damage given away. Early guys often jump into Mexico, so you could just bounce it off like that and get some strong damage in, plus slow down the potentially fastest route to top mid players. Mirage Default is the next place where I always see nades thrown way too deep. Instead of nading Default, people throw their nades in the very corner of Ninja, which if anyone is at Default, won't hurt those guys at all. Rather throw your nade in the middle of both areas and as open as possible, so it has the most potential to deal damage to multiple people. Let's go. You're usually doing it wrong when you stick with the defuse at your second or third attempt on the bomb. This is where opponents would usually peek out. If you want to go for those 400 IQ plays and ninja defuses, just stick with the defuse with your very first clean attempt and they might figure you're faking. Sometimes people overbrain themselves with flashbangs, trying to improvise them on the fly and make them very poppy into enemies' faces, but it's hard to improvise perfect flashes, so when you are in trouble and under a time pressure, I have found very effective to throw flashbangs exactly like you would throw your smokes, so some people might not turn because they see it coming miles away and might think you threw a smoke instead of a flash, plus therefore end up fully blind. Also, the same reverse psychology can come handy with smokes. Make sure they land at the place you want them to land, but you could try to throw them with a casual flash trajectory, a bit in the air, you know, as it's more common to see trajectories like that with flashes. Opponents might turn and maybe you can get an easy kill. By the way, make sure to join with the bell club, because otherwise you might miss the next diamond video, and being in the bell club really boosts your rank.